Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, Legendary Division 2. Sped it up a little bit, took a while. So, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. I'm a little bit late getting my exotic legendary, so I first tried to get in there and immediately it sent me to Roosevelt and the person, and I just sat there and looked at each other, and I eventually got a group over here. The leader went somewhere, then someone else went somewhere. I went in with somebody, someone died. I don't know what happened to them, so I'm just kind of doing it at this point. So it's my standard jammer build. We start loading up in the group. And this is just one of those super professional groups where it's as if you've played together a long time. We're well balanced. And sometimes they talk about golf, that it's a walk that's spoiled. It's spoiled walk. You know, you're walking through this beautiful countryside, or all the green and all the trees and everything, and you got to fucking play golf and do horrible at it. So it's kind of the antithesis to that statement. It's a walk through here, and it was unspoiled. People pick each other up. We have a healer. We have a crowd control. We have a couple of DPS people. You see, no one's pushing up front. So, let's see. I am doing videos on The Division 2, The Division, Destiny 2, Star Wars Old Republic, Elder Scrolls Online, Elden Ring, and I started Tina's also. So I'm going to drop something out of there. I'll kind of look at the stats here. I might do it for a while. I want to make sure that I give the people originally that signed up and were kind enough to subscribe, wanted Division 2 videos. I'm going to give you Division 2 videos. I'm going to probably always be doing legendaries. If they ever get the backpack fixed, and I know it's fixed, then I might do some things on that. It's a couple interesting things if it works, how it works. And there's Roxy on cue. And then on cue, squirt bottle. And do you feel like getting squirted? It is unseasonably warm here, and I stop it. You know, it's feast or famine. Either it's freezing or it's like way too warm. But it was a nice day, nice spring day today. So we're already up to where the helicopters are dropping folks down. Overall, it took about 67 minutes in total. Let's say after I cut everything out, all the waste, you know, maybe it was down to, I don't know, maybe it was like 40 minutes. So it was like 20 minutes of waste. So and you're gauging when you go into legendary, you know, you saw those people go down. We're at the appropriate time where we should move forward, and we're doing that. That guy's going to go forward, and he seems pretty stout. And it's not if a person dies. It's if they die, you know, in a horrible way. Then you're going to question their gameplay ability. This is probably my fastest recharge build. That's all of them. That was Roxy. That was Macy. People probably walking their dogs outside. And so I can put a lot of suppression with the vial and the jammer. And I'm already thinking about what am I going to do next? What skills should I do next? With the kind of group we have. We have a couple of, well, for sure we have one of those shield guys. So we got like a shield DPS guy, got a healer, and me and another person. So we go in here and I decide I'm going to mud people. Now, as soon as you use a chem launcher, you're required by state and federal law to mud yourself or oxidize yourself. Or instead of healing your people, you heal yourself. So we got 2 of us in here, so hilarity ensues. We went through this part quite fast. I was pretty impressed. One of the advantages of using 2 kind of skills that produce status effects when you have a build like this, you can kind of save the vial jammer for when you kind of need it. So this was a time where I felt comfortable enough to I'm just watching on how fast my creeping death comes back, and then I'm waiting kind of do that to spread it all, spread the, do one shot and hit everyone. Really playing without creeping death and you're putting on status effects, that's a less than sign. You can do what you want, but one shot you get everyone. So we have a little trouble here, and I, as is my nature, I'm going to retreat because I don't want us to fail. And look what everyone else does. And our tank even, he went down, but he got back up. So, very satisfied with this group right now. Smart players. Changing in between. And I guess one way to stop the Chungus from pushing you out the door is to mud them so they can't get any further. So if you have someone in your group doing this part, you should, doing the crowd control part, you should do fine. You can see that we got a healer. This is another one of those litmus test phases. But no one's jumping too far forward, right? We get the initial wave. These people have obviously played it, or if they haven't, they're super disciplined. There's an incompetent move by me. I pull out my pistol for no other reason than I'm incompetent. And that's one of the other things with Jammer, right? You're also spotting people still. So it's one of those utilitarian skills that I just, I'm sure you've heard me whine about it before, how great it is. I'm probably tired of it. And that guy's forward. So you have a great situation. We have a guy that can go forward. And so then we can put a lot of pressure on the spawn points. And this stuff's kind of textbook. And these aren't super high level people, but these are obviously people that know how to play. And so do you do this in a legendary? When you get in a group, can you size it up? Do you have a clan that you can size up when you guys run this harder content? It's funny if you watch me play in Destiny 2, because I'm not, I haven't played it as much. I die a lot because I'm overextending. I don't know the limits of my character. And so I go down quite a bit. And in that game, I am more of in my mind, a DPS person. And really in that game, I'm like, yeah, and this is why you have a technician in your group, right? I'm going to stun the dog with the EMP, and then with my extra 10% damage, we're going to get rid of the dog. And what's going to happen in between then, I'm slowly taking down the Johnny 5 without even looking at him. Again, there's this indirect damage. And that's in every game if you can do this indirect damage. It's fantastic. And so one of the things I'm going to start talking to you about is, how some of these things transcend games. Like this gameplay style is something that you're trying to do in every game. If it's possible. I haven't tied up every single knot into a nice bow of the things I've told you about, kind of the philosophical parts. But I think we're far enough along that we give all that a rest for a little bit. If I can shut my mouth. You're lucky. Ambrosia. I went to do a video at lunch today, and my alarm, as I'm recording the audio, I have an alarm at 12:55 that tells me to go into the building, and that alarm goes off, shuts down my recording of the video, kicks me out of LumaFusion, and so it was a disaster. That's why you didn't get a lunchtime video, because I half did the audio. And that's a really good little bite-sized thing. And I'm talking to you maybe about lunch and those kind of things. So that's more, I don't know. But I'm just sharing with you like the actual, like I was at McDonald's the other day and I went to a pizza place and got like it's not a calzone, but it's a small pizza that they flop it over and then they try to call it a sub, but it's not a sub. It's just a pizza rolled over on itself. And I don't know why I fall for that. But I do. And you see we go through here pretty easy. Well, we don't go through here pretty easy. What you're going to see is I get chicken. When the second guy dies, I'm like, well, fuck this. Let me get out of here. And I try to help him. So now all three are down. So I'm like, oh, shit. I don't really notice at that point that the other guy's up. I go into this other area, and I'm just going to go into my... Should have had the shotgun out. In my mode that I can kill people from behind this wall. Then I realize my team's all back up. So I want to tell you, that's a pretty fantastic team. Right? We were close to 3 down, and then they got themselves up. So that's why it's nice in a group like this. My build really accentuates. I put out my DPS turret, and I think I'm going to mud them still. And remember, my DPS skill build, I need to do a status effect, so I don't need to do the shotgun. I can just mud people, and that gives me my perfect shotgun off. And so in a group like this, I don't have to worry about, man, we got to get someone to kill all these things. I can do all the ancillary things that make the group play just easy. It's like having a healer as well. And so when you're in a good group where it's no stress, you have these components in there. I saw that someone did this in 8 minutes. God bless them for doing it in 8 minutes. I don't know if it was legendary. I think they said it was legendary. Shit, if I could do it in 8 minutes, I wouldn't have to, the editing be great. You wouldn't have to hear me. You wouldn't have to hear me drone on, and you would get quick gameplay. I think I cut out some of these shitty little rooms too that are less than a minute. Right? There's no value for you to see like 45 seconds of gameplay that we just smoked through. I'm going to tell you, thank you for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. I'm probably to the point where I'll start mixing that into the titling. I'll put that into, I'll add a little more to the videos. I'm getting near my 200th video. Started slowly ticking back on new subscribers. I don't know if it was a YouTube thing or whatever. But at a certain point, I just don't care. I like doing the videos, and I have my own reasons for doing them, and I like just doing them, and I like doing the different games. I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea, but there's something maybe for everyone. Now, this is how good this group is. 2 people went up front, and while they were running up front, that guy you see over there, our tank kind of guy, he engaged people immediately so that those other 2 didn't get down by anyone. He started taking the aggro immediately. And so we have everything. My poor gameplay, I get myself killed, and I can kind of see it. You know, I'm putting pressure on that Johnny 5. At this point, I went to an oxidizer, and you can see my turrets just tearing things up. And maybe that wasn't turret, and then there I get smoked. They eventually come down and pick me up. And I get rid of my turret, and I just go to my, because you can see it took a while for me to get my oxidizer back, but I got the jammer pulse so that I can get these dogs, and then I switch to the sticky jammer. The sticky jammer is nice because it really locks a guy down for a while. So that's a pretty good kind of skill. This isn't my fast build. This is my skill DPS, so I can't keep them locked down forever. But it's still enough. We have so much DPS. Makes this part easy. And I think I talk about this every time I'm in a Division video, but you know, you can play literally whatever build you want to play, and you can do whatever content. And you're just going to have to you either got to do a different strategy. So let's say we didn't have a vial jammer in here. Let's say we didn't have someone jamming. I've been in groups before we didn't have a jammer, but then you got to put out an ass load of DPS. And you got to press them. So part of the mechanic in this game that you can see, if you're in a really bad group that has low DPS, let's say you're going to Capital, those first guys push you so much that when you don't have enough pressure, they'll push you. And when you have a lot of pressure, you'll push the enemy. So that's another way you can control the battlefield. And I think I had a video, it's called Rose Fox, or Rose by any other name. We did the last part of Manning National Zoo, and in hindsight, like if I could have changed to a tank build, I would have changed to a tank build, and we would have been fine. I would have gone out and killed the controllers, the guys that make the drones. I just went out and killed them. I wouldn't have stayed back. That's a case where you don't need a vial jammer. And if you have one of those tank builds where you're high damage reduction to yellows, then you're just targeting the purples, right? So a purple controller, you're making a beeline to that person and smoking them first. So there's ways to get around with not having a jammer, but you got to have more DPS, or you got to have more tanks, or you have to have some coordination. Roxy, I will squirt you to kingdom come. And so that's one of the things about build. So I don't really do a lot of build videos. When I started doing this, I would compare different weapons, and what I found is it didn't matter. Didn't matter what weapon you had. It didn't matter what kind of armor you had. It's really your tactics. And what the better gear gives you a faster time to kill. Roxy, there, and there. Nope, keep going. You're going to get more. So those are some things I'd like you to consider. So at that point, just play the build that you want to play, and it doesn't matter. Now, if you're a bad player, conversely, no matter what you will do, won't help you. You could have Mr. AJ47, 7 million followers, 7 million views. You could have his build. It's not going to help you, his or her build, because if you don't know how to play, you don't know how to play. So why I show you a lot of these videos they're pretty consistent on where my positioning is and where most people's positioning are. See, there's few enemies left. We go and push them. We don't stay in cover. And I want you to think about, we do the very thing when that guy can't put pressure on us, we then go put pressure on him. 3 dogs versus 4 people, we put the pressure on the dogs. And so whenever you're numerically, the only time when you're numerically equal, that I don't recommend that you go out and engage the enemy is on heroic or legendary summit floor 100 against the rogues, because it is not set for you to take 2 of those guys on with 4 of you. 4 of you can take 1 guy. And that is a nut buster. As long as that takes to do that, for you to die with 2 rogues left because you're just impatient is unacceptable. Disgraceful. So that's kind of the state of the Division 2 videos. It'd be nice if you have a ninja backpack that's just going to give you more variety and try different ideas. And that's what's fun about that game, I think, too, is some of that. But I'm telling you, you can just make whatever video you want. And there's a person, Grin Aid, who does videos, and they do heroics and challengings. And what you're going to see is they solo easily. Now, she had a video where she was soloing the first part of this District Union, and she went through it really easy. She had a great build to do that. And I would just tell you, if you can solo the first part of District Union, you can just do any heroic standing on your head. Why I kept this fight in is because this is almost textbook how you do it. You're going to move counterclockwise in this. Now, I get smoked here immediately because I am not the best player. But you can see they're already moving up forward. I'm going to get up and just follow them. And because eventually the boss is going to spawn from the end that we came out of. So we're pushing them. The next spawn is going to be jumping off right here. So I'm going to park right here. And I'm going to go right about here because I can reach them with my... See, I'm already getting them. So they're already taking damage even before they come down. And the next set of people are going to spawn from the same area. I'm waiting. That means there's someone left. So you can see there was a guy there. So I wait for my teammates to get them down. And so I really need to have my pulse back up by then. So I'm going to wait, do it. And look, they're all there. And then I start doing that. So first initial wave we took care of. We came over to here. Second wave was here. Third wave's here. Last boss wave is going to come from the front up here. So I'm trying to get in position for that. Now, this is where this is a problem in my tactics. I'm saving my pulse for the boss wave, but I should just do it right now because it's 11 seconds. And I've noticed when I get too cutesy sometimes, and that's one of those times where I'm getting too cutesy with the timing, I should just, every time that skill's up, you should be pounding it out. There's a certain time in certain instances, if you don't have a lot of DPS, that you want to get in sync with the people making the drones. So as soon as they spawn the drones, you're knocking them down every time. If you get out of sync, and what happens when you're out of sync, they get the drones up, the drones hit you, then you hit your EMP, which does nothing. So I fast forward this to when we broke the boss's armor, and you know, I think the total video, it's 1.5, so I think it's, 30 minutes? So 30 minutes, 1.5, so maybe it was 45 minutes, so I shaved about 20 minutes off of it running different places and getting rid of a couple of those other things. This whole thing took about 70 minutes, let's say, if that math adds up. So I want to thank you again. I want to thank all the usual suspects that comment and everything. I really appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to playing Destiny 2 with Super Slanky. I've been working like an incredible amount out of my mind, but it's a holiday weekend here in the U.S. and I'm taking some days off, so make up for those nights I worked. So thanks everyone, appreciate it. Going to try to get this video out tomorrow, which will be Thursday. I told the people that I play with in the game that I was going to do that. So again, Ronan Kazi signing off. Thanks everyone.